Margaret strolled along the castle gates, looking out at the kingdom, until she stumbled upon a most peculiar thing, a palm-sized metal box. "What is it?" her maiden-servant whispered. "I do not know." Margaret picked it up, and though the metal was cool, a heat pulsed from the object. She tapped the button. "Slide to unlock," it read. "But whatever does that mean?" Margaret slid the box on the grass, but nothing happened. She rubbed it against her petticoat. Nothing. "Let me try." Her maiden-servant took the box and pressed her finger against the smooth surface, and no longer did it read "slide to unlock." Now a dozen colorful boxes appeared. Some were merely symbols or letters. Under a blue F read "Facebook." "What a funny thing," Margaret murmured. "A Facebook." The maiden-servant pressed her finger to the F. Foolish girl was always doing things without being told. The screen changed once again. Tiny writing appeared with pictures, the colors electric. "Ben Benson," it read, and in tiny gray writing, 12 hours. Below was a most realistic portrait of a beautiful man. His skin was brown, his eyes almost black. Roped braids hung from his head, his smile so wide and friendly. "What is this? Where did you find it?" Margaret took the box and brought it closer. It made her eyes hurt, but that glorious face, that smile, the way the sun hit his forehead, made it appear as if he was glowing. "Who is this man? I must meet him. Go and send a courier to look for him. A man called Ben Benson. Go at once." The maiden-servant disappeared, and Margaret wondered if she could trust the girl. She'd always let Margaret down many times before, and never had a task been so urgent. The following day, Margaret was to be wed to her betrothed, the Prince of Scotland, a wretched man with pasty skin. A coldness swept over Margaret when he looked at her with his tiny bead-like eyes. She lost her appetite when he leaned over with his syrupy, fermented breath. She could not marry the man, she'd insisted. "But one day you'll be Queen of Scotland," her mother said. "Marriage is not about love, Margaret. It's about power, land, fortune. He can provide such things." "What if I want none of it? What if all I want is to be happy, to be in love?" "You've read too many fairy tales. Your father warned me to not allow you such unrestricted access to the library. See the silly notions you have, love." Margaret now looked at the man's portrait contained in the box, Ben Benson, and indeed felt love. It was as if he'd reached into her soul and touched her heart. He could save her from a dreadful marriage with the prince. He could love her and make her happy. But just like that, the box went black.